You ever wonder why filing your taxes online can take like 5 minutes, but renewing your driver's license feels like a trip back in time, complete with endless queues? Well, today we're going to decode the huge digital shift that's happening inside governments all over the world. We're going to look at how some countries are absolutely leaping into the future, becoming true digital nations, while others, well, they're getting left in the dust.
So let's start with that term. What even is a digital nation? It's a phrase we hear a lot, but what does it actually take for a country to earn that title?
You know the feeling, right? One government service is a total breeze. A few clicks and you're done. But the next one requires printing out forms, finding a pen, and physically standing in line for hours. What is the difference? What separates that amazing digital experience from a total bureaucratic nightmare? Just look at the difference here. I mean, it is massive. On one hand, you've got Australia, a global leader, scoring a 0.90 out of 1 on what's called GovTech maturity. And on the other, you have Madagascar with a score of just 0.26. That's not a gap, folks. That is a chasm. So what in the world creates such a huge divide? Well, it turns out this isn't random at all. There's a really systematic way to understand all of this. The answer lies in a powerful framework that breaks down exactly what a country needs to do to really master its digital transformation. And that framework is the World Bank's GovTech Maturity Index, or GTMI for short. Think of it like a global scorecard that measures and compares how 198 different economies are doing on their digital journey. Okay, first, let's get on the same page about this term, GovTech. This is not just about building a few government websites or an app here and there. No. It's a whole-of-government approach. It's a fundamental rethinking of how the entire public sector works, how it delivers services, and, crucially, how it engages with us, the citizens. So the World Bank's index breaks this whole complex idea down into 4 key areas. First up, core government systems. This is the digital engine room, the behind-the-scenes stuff like finance and HR. Second is public service delivery. That's what you and I see, how we actually get services online. Third, we have citizen engagement, which is all about whether the government is using tech to actually listen and have a two-way conversation. And finally, you've got the GovTech enablers. These are the absolute foundations, things like having the right laws, the right skills, and a real strategy to make all the other stuff happen. So what happens when you apply this index to the entire world? Well, the results paint a picture of a planet that is deeply, deeply divided. The World Bank puts every economy into one of 4 groups, from A down to D. Up in Group A, you have 43 countries that are the clear leaders. They have very mature digital governments. But way down at the other end of the spectrum, you have 33 countries in Group D that have a minimal focus on GovTech, if any at all.
And you probably won't be shocked to hear that there's a really strong link between a country's wealth and its digital maturity. High-income countries pretty much dominate the top spots. In fact, a whopping 77% of those top-performing Group A nations are high-income. It's a tough reality, but it shows that the digital divide often just mirrors the economic one. And the barriers in the real world are just stark. In the leading countries, internet access is around 90%, but in those lagging Group D nations, it's just 19%. And what about the cost to get online? 1 gigabyte of mobile data costs more than double in those lower maturity countries. You just can't build a digital nation if people can't get online or can't afford to stay connected. But here's the thing, it's not all about money. Some countries are punching way above their weight. So what are the leaders doing right across all income levels? Let's dive into some really cool examples. Let's start with India. I mean, for such a huge lower middle income country, it is an absolute digital powerhouse. Its overall score is really strong, but where it truly shines is in citizen engagement and having those foundational enablers in place. This just shows they have a clear strategy and it's focused on reaching their massive, diverse population. And here is how they turn that strategy into reality. This is the Umang Super App. It's one single mobile app that gives people access to over 2,000, that's right, 2,000 services from both national and state governments. It's an absolute game changer for making services accessible to everyone. Now let's hop over to another global leader, the United Arab Emirates. The UAE just crushes it when it comes to public service delivery and citizen engagement, and it's all driven by this relentless laser focus on creating a seamless, user-friendly experience. One of the keys to their success is something called the UAE Pass. It's a single national digital ID. This lets people securely access all sorts of government services
without having to create a million different accounts. And they aren't stopping there. They have these incredibly ambitious national strategies for AI and blockchain. They're literally aiming to be the first government in the world fully powered by blockchain. But it's not just the wealthiest countries making waves. Let's look at a regional leader, South Africa. It really stands out in the Africa region, proving that strong digital governance is absolutely achievable. They've built really solid core systems and have those key enablers in place.
And what I find so fascinating here is the philosophy that's been driving their success. Get this, since way back in 1997, their entire approach has been guided by a principle called Bathato Pele, which means people first. This just proves that a deep, long-standing commitment to putting people at the center of everything isn't just a nice slogan. It's the secret ingredient for a truly successful digital transformation. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. What are the big lessons here? What can any country do to speed up its journey to becoming a real digital nation? If you remember just one thing, let it be this. Technology alone is never, ever enough. Real, lasting transformation needs serious, high-level political commitment. It needs leadership that believes in the vision and is willing to put the resources behind it. Without that, even the most brilliant tech projects are probably going to fizzle out. So the path forward is actually pretty clear. It means building shared platforms so different government departments can actually talk to each other. It means investing in the digital skills of public servants. It means building trust with citizens through rock-solid data protection laws. And, maybe most importantly, it means designing services from day one that are accessible to everyone, making absolutely sure that our digital future doesn't leave anyone behind. And that brings us to a final question for you. If you had the power to digitally transform just one government service in your country, what would it be? And thinking about everything we've just talked about, what would be your very first step?